deliveries. Hey, g'day guys, how are you today? Got a new job to do. Gonna get this out today. You're gonna witness it. Let's go. So what we have here today is a D-Max has come in and wants to have a bar over the back here so it can support a tent on the roof. And we're going to make it very similar to the front of the vehicle, which has already got a headboard on it. We're just going to copy the headboard and transfer it to the back. We're going to bolt it on, use 3 bolts in the back on each side. He wants to raise it to the level and then come out over the top so that everything down the side here all looks the same. That's what we're going to get into today, and I'll go through all the cutting process, the marking out process. I'll try to explain as best I can everything that we need to do to make this job come out the way it's going to, and also he's going to take it to the powder coaters and get it powder coated black to make it match the rest of the vehicle. So we'll get into it. I've just dropped the material into the rack. We're going to cut that to size and we'll crack on with it, eh? So I just walked in with a length of material. It is 75 by 50 and it is a radius corner. It's got a nice little soft edge on that there. Okay. And the bracketry material that we're going to bolt onto, the base of it, this is a 6mm plate, quite thick there, 6mm plate. It'll have the box section welded onto the top of it. We will put a bolt hole here and 2 bolt holes here, and we'll cut this off to size, and this will be bolted onto the vehicle, quite possibly a doubler plate for underneath, and we'll go through the process of making all those for you. Well guys, this is as simple as I can get it for you in pieces. You can see that we don't have a lining up or matching corner here or here. That's what we're going to have to work on, but essentially these are all of the pieces of the puzzle, and we have our uprights, we have our joining plates, we have our bolt-on plates at the bottom, and we also have our doubler plate for underneath, which gets bolted through so we're not relying on the floor to hold this in place. These, I cut these a fraction longer so that I can adjust the height of this, because that has to be perfect, and the only place it can be adjusted is with the height of this. And it doesn't matter if we have a gap 5mm or 10mm underneath the drop sides. Okay, here's our picture with our dimensions, and here's our job. The same pieces have been cut out. Now I'm going to go through and I'll set up the camera so that we can work out how to cut these corners off and make it right. A big shout out to all of my new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy what I do for you. And to all of those older subscribers that have been with me since the journey began, thank you very much. And I get a lot of messages from you guys, and I appreciate that very much. Next, I use my angle finder, which is just a homemade one that I made myself, but this is big enough to give me the angle that I need off the tray that already exists here. So this is going to be the angle that I need to cut the tops of my fabrication to. This is the angle. I'll try not to bump that. I have already checked the other side. Now, Morrison's Fabrications are a Darwin group that build trays and toolboxes, and I highly recommend anyone that if they're going to get a tray done or a big toolbox done, Morrison's are the place to go to. I don't consider myself in that kind of business anymore, so is why I'm happy to share their services to somebody, even though it is aluminium fabrication. These guys are set up, geared up to make trays, and they do a really good job, these guys. They make the toolboxes, they make the trays, they make the drop sides, and they make toolboxes, and they do a really good job of it. In saying that, I checked both sides of their fabrication, and it is identical one side to the other, so that means I make mine identical. If they were different, I would mimic the difference, but these guys have done it correct. So it's always a good thing, isn't it? I mean, it's how it should be. So anyway, I've got my correct measurement now and my correct angle. I'm going to use that on both sides, and then once we cut them, then we trim out how wide it needs to be as well, and the point of the width there as well. So we'll go through the process of. Here's our angle, let's go. Okay, here we go, back onto the job with the angle and just checking to see how far out we are. Oh, that's miles out, okay? So what we will do is we'll bring this edge in until such time we get this angle here spot on. And once we get that angle spot on, then we can work out what needs to be cut off from here to make this correct. So here is our angle for the headboard. I sit this down on here. I've already made the headboard at the right angle. I sit this down on here, and now we have to cut this to make it suit. Now there's many ways to do this, but the way I've chosen today to show you quite easily is we push this to this corner here. So the outside edge of this angle finder, we put it to the corner there, and we put that over the V of the middle there. And once that is perfectly over the middle there, that shows me that this angle here is the right angle that we need to double check it. We put it on the other side, and it does exactly the same thing, okay? So what we have to do now to trim off these pieces is we bring this back to this point here, and we mark that. And then we do the same on this one over here. We bring this up to this edge here. Once we get that to the edge, we mark that. And there's our two pieces that we need to remove off here, and then these two will join together and make the perfect angle. Let's go and cut them off. So I've got this in the saw, and I need to rotate my saw around, and it happens to be that it locks in at 32.5 degrees, which is the perfect angle for this to cut at. So 32.5 degrees is what the headboard has been made to suit, which is very handy because it's got little holes in and it locks into place. We've got one at 22.5, we've got one at 15, and we've got one at 0 that it all locks into. So this one is 32.5 degrees there, which is perfect for us to cut this angle off. And when we put the two together, we should be pretty close with our angle. Look at that. And because this one is so neat cut on the 32, then this end here, it also has a very similar measurement on the saw. And you can see I've used a straight edge to square this one up here, and at the other end as well. I will square that up, and it will also have a hole in the saw, a hole for the correct measurement or correct angle we'll go over there and put that in and show. Take this one off. I've got this to show it, but we'll take this over and we'll put it in the saw. All right, we bring this around, and one of these will be perfect, and that's it. There it is there. That's the perfect angle there. And this comes, no, it's not that one. It is less. There it is there. And that is the one. There we go. I know that doesn't look right, but it is right. Okay, we can see it through here, that it lines up everything through here. So that is on the 22.5 to give me the correct angle on that. So the way the people that manufactured this in the first place have made it, they've used all the same settings, which makes it a whole lot easier. This would be the same setting on here. This would be the same setting on here. And this would be the same, well, this one's not the same setting because they're using the angle between these two, whereas I'm trying to make this flat off here. It's a different process, but anyway, you can see what's going on there. But this angle here, we've used this angle, and we're not going to use this angle. This is a combination of halfway between this one and this one, gives us this one. After we've cut all the angles, we've got them all right there. Now it's a matter of tacking it all together. I'm going to use the MIG to tack it together. I'm going to use the TIG to do the final welding on the outside of it. Okay, so we've got the dummy fit on there now, and you can see that that just lines up there spot on. Come over the other side here, and we can see that lines up there spot on as well. So now all we need to do is get the right height out of it so that the height matches the toolbox on the other side, which will be a little bit higher than what this is now. We're going to have a little gap underneath here so that the drop sides can open without fouling onto this. But that's essentially where it's going to sit. And then we'll have the rest of it down the bottom here. These are our doubler plates. These go underneath, and we've got 3 holes in there. The doubler plate goes underneath on the underside of this, and of course we've got one on the other side as well, with the holes already drilled in underneath there. And while you weren't looking, I quickly welded this out. Other side as well. A little bit of TIG work up the top here and over the top. Same on the other end. And now it's ready to put in the ute. Do a few bolts up and we're done. You can see the step out where the drop sides will fit inside here and inside here. So I've got all the nuts and bolt combinations here. These are nylock nuts, but the customer's requested that I only put 2 bolts in, so I'm going to give him 2 not Loctites, just normal nuts, so that he can take it off and remove it because he wants to take it to the powder coaters. So in the meantime, we're going to fit this baby on. And just use the 1 nylock nut on there to hold it in place. Not even an olive nut, just a normal nut. One on each side. And I will put the doubler plates on. Put the doubler plates on underneath there as well. And I'll come back to you when she's all finished. Well, it's pretty well finished now anyway. I'll just bolt that up. You can see that fits underneath here. Got a nice little gap there. Same on this side here. Got a nice little gap underneath here. It looks pretty neat. Sits nice up there. Nice up there. It's the same height. I did measure the same height. So she's a good little fit up. I'll give you a quick run through when I've got it all bolted down. And the final fit up is done, except for we've only putting one bolt in because, like I said, he wants to take it to the powder coaters, but there's no way to get it home, so we've just bolted it in with one bolt. But she's worked out well. So thanks again for watching. If there's anything that I didn't quite answer for you throughout the video, please hit the comments. I'll try to answer for you. But thanks for watching, and to all my new subscribers, welcome along to the channel. I've been building it for about 2 years now. We're starting to go places, which is really good. So again, thank you, and see you in the next video. Should be fun.